Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the matchup between Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje for the undisputed lightweight title. So you have the undisputed champion in Khabib Nurmagomedov, possibly, and in my opinion, the best lightweight of all time in MMA. No contest. I mean, Peter Penn did what he did, but right now it's just clear that Khabib is the best of all best lightweight of all time. Peter Pan might have had a tougher competition and had the better wins and overall the tougher competition and did what he did when he had to do it in a time where it definitely wasn't as clear or the division isn't put together as it is now and stuff. So definitely different eras, but with Khabib's way of just dominating this division the way he is and be the competition he is, I definitely say Peter Pan for a better competition. I think Peter Pan still has maybe one more defense than him, but all in all, how he's undefeated and how he's been beating these opponents and so clean, you got to put him as the best lightweight of all time, in my opinion. And definitely when you got to add in the fact that where Peter Pan fell off at and stuff. So until Khabib just falls off, unless Khabib just falls off or something, you got to look at him as the best lightweight in MMA history, in my opinion. Or really right up there. He's either top three or one. Top two or one, I would say. But enough about that. So undisputed lightweight champion versus the interim champion, Justin Gaethje. Enough flattery for Khabib. And let me just say another thing before I get further into this prediction. I've been doing, I've actually kind of tried to attempt to make this video 20, 30 times. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it has been plenty of times I've been trying to make the matchup, a video predicting or looking at both these fighters, then coming down to a prediction. But it's either never the right time to post it, or it's never the right time, or how this dude just don't come around, it kind of drags on too long. Or make more of it than I would need to, or start, dropping my opinions on it too much instead of just focusing on the prediction or focusing on something and dragging it out. And as you can see, it's kind of dragging out a little bit right now. But yeah, I've been trying to make this video for a while, and I'm actually going to get it done for once and get it done right here, and then get it done when I make my main card predictions by next week when the fight happens. So let's get into it. So first we're going to look at the stats. And then we're going to get into prediction and why I see this fight as interesting. I've really been looking at this fight for a while, and I've been saying, even when Gaethje first came to the UFC, I thought he had a style, or he has he has styles and skills of a stylistic matchup that makes him a very dangerous matchup for Khabib. Probably if not the most dangerous guy for Khabib, probably top three most dangerous styles for Khabib. Whether it be at welterweight or lightweight. So I thought it's always saw him as a big threat if he can make it. And I thought what really held him back from getting there was, even though he was a dangerous style matchup for Khabib, he still would have issues with a lot of other fighters in the weight class. But yeah, as far as Khabib, I think he brings a skill set that is very dangerous to Khabib. Very dangerous. But yeah, now to the stats. So we're not going to really look at the wins. Khabib's undefeated. Gaethje got 2 losses. Used to be undefeated. Was a champion in World Series of Fighting. So 28-0 versus 22-2. Average fight time, 13 minutes and 47 seconds for Khabib. 10 minute and 11 second average fight time for Gaethje. Even though he's been getting a lot of finishes, his average fight time still not no 5 minutes or nothing like that. And even though at first he used to be a fighter that would blood for blood and go for the kill or be killed, his average fight time still surprisingly a little bit up there. It's not a 15 minute it's not no 14, but 10, 11 seems a little bit high for what he does. But as always, stats don't really reflect everything, but it doesn't even matter if it was a little bit higher. He gets the finish regardless. So height, 5'10 versus 5'11. Gaethje will have the height advantage. Reach identical. Weight identical. Both orthodox. Both born in 88. So no age advantage, no reach advantage, and a 1-inch height advantage for Gaethje. Not going to look at the stats as far as strike landed per minute. As we know, when Gaethje first came in, he was just going out there and just trading blow for blow. But the recent Gaethje, you just look at his stats for recently, he definitely doesn't take as many punches as he doesn't. At first, he used to take more shots than he gave, but since his turnaround and since he readjusted his game, definitely gives out a lot more than he takes. So, but the stats right now says he takes more shots than he gives per minute. So I'm not going to stats can definitely get you messed up a lot of times. You can look at the accuracy of Paulo Costa versus Adesanya. Paulo Costa had a higher striking accuracy than Adesanya, higher this and higher that. But like I said, stats a lot of times can get you messed. You just judge based on stats without looking at the fights and how they fight, or looking at deep into these fighters. You go his stats are better, so he should win. Or his stats show he's a sharpshooter. But then you look at Costa, who just a knuckle dragging, inside fighter almost, or really, versus Adesanya, who's really the sniper in the fight and where he fights from and who he's fighting, the level of competition. And I'm not saying Khabib's level of competition is lower than Gaethje's or Gaethje's level of competition is higher, but I just feel like when you look at Gaethje's stats, it still reflects how he used to be versus how he is now. So you can't really just look at his stats and say this is who he is. But all that being said, stats, like I'm gonna know the stats, and what I'm gonna get to is the actual facts or actual reason why I see Gaethje is such a interesting style matchup or such a dangerous matchup for Khabib. And to get it cut and dry without dragging it out, like I said, there's no height, there's no big height or age or reach or any big advantage for either fighter in this fight. So you can look at those little stats or tell of the tape, and it really doesn't matter at all in this fight. What comes down to his styles. I think that's what's most interesting about this matchup. So Khabib, throughout his career, he has never really fought a real deal wrestler. Has never fought one. He fought guys that kind of maybe wrestled, or guys that kind of were somewhat wrestlers, or guys that really didn't wrestle at the highest caliber or weren't really the best of wrestlers. But he's not, like, when you look at his career, he has never fought a guy that actually was a real deal wrestler, or a guy that was out there who had a style that was a heavy based wrestling style or nothing like that. And I'm not saying Gaethje's a wrestling based fighter, but in my opinion, or really anybody's opinion, this is the first real wrestler that Khabib is fighting. So you could say, oh, this guy tried to stretch and say, oh, this guy wrestled in high school, or this guy wrestled in middle school, or this guy wrestled at junior college for a little bit. But Gaethje is an all-American wrestler, so that's a big difference. Gaethje might not be an offensive wrestler, but in MMA, but none of the people that Khabib has fought have ever been an offensive wrestler. Like, they've been fought, like 99% of his, like 99% of his competition has been strikers, basically, or strikers or jiu-jitsu guys, or just MMA guys. And most of them haven't really even had the best wrestling defense or best wrestling offense. Most of them were kind of tailor-made to be beat by Khabib. So this first guy that has a wrestling pedigree that can give Khabib some fits. I'm not saying he could out-wrestle Khabib. I definitely think if they wrestled, Khabib would dominate him in the wrestling. But Gaethje has been in there with some true top-tier wrestlers, wrestling like in the NCAA. Been in there with Barrows and had a close match with him. So he's not no joke in the wrestling. That's what makes it interesting. And also what makes it interesting is that he has power. He has confidence. He's not scared of Khabib like a lot of these other people. Like, they're going to back up and give him the front feed. They're going to give him the lead. Gaethje's not going to do that. He's a forward-pressing fighter who went from being a pretty much hit, kill or be killed fighter to being a dinking man. Like, he might not be like the most technical fighter out there, but he's dinking. He's setting stuff up. He's setting up counters. So he's not a guy that's going to be fearful. He's going to be there in the pocket, in the fire if he needs to be, and make those little small margins to make counters like he did against Ferguson. Like, a lot of people would just, like against Ferguson, a lot of people would just allow Ferguson to be sloppy and lead the fight and just keep throwing kicks and running in with his chin up and get away with that. He stood in the pocket, stepped off, caught him with right hands, caught him with hooks, and kept dropping. Catch him with check hooks, catch him over top. When he leaves these big pockets, but he would take advantage of. Whereas other people would back out of the pocket because they worry about getting hit or worry about this and let people like that get off. And Khabib makes sloppy striking errors all the time as well. But a lot of times people be so scared of his wrestling that he throws a punch, they run away from him. They get that back to the cage, easy takedown. Or he gets them flinching, and then they cover up top, and he gets easy takedown. Or not even that. Or they just allow him to just be on the front foot, which allow him to go for your leg and just go for the little low singles, pick your ankle, pick you up, raise it high with a high leg takedown. Whatever case, like go for these little inside takedowns. Really, like I said, they just allow him the opportunity. But what I see the weaknesses in Khabib's wrestling game and really his overall MMA game is that he's not that good at fighting off his back foot. His wrestling shots or his takedown attempts aren't the best when he's off his back foot. His accuracy drops like by 50% when he's off his back foot. He shoots from far out. He telegraphs his shots. But when he's going for it, everything just blends together well. So people allow him to pretty much bully them. So he goes out there, he fights like a bully, and people allow that to happen. Gaethje's not going to allow that to happen. I'm not saying that Gaethje need to shut down all his takedowns or Gaethje just going to just do this and do all that. But what makes it interesting is the fact that Gaethje is going to put Khabib in areas where I feel like he is weaker, and statistically has shown where he is weaker. You put him on his back foot, don't really have no punches off his back foot. He shoots from far out on his shots. As you saw in the Conor McGregor fight, when early on, like in that first minute or less, he immediately was so scared of Conor McGregor that he was running away on the side of the cage and not trying to get hit by Conor McGregor. And then he shot a shot from far out. And the only reason he got that shot was because Conor McGregor tried to time it with a knee. And if that knee would have knocked him out, it would have been a highlight reel knockout. But for the fact that Khabib ate that knee and got that single leg off of it, then it changed the whole course of the fight. Like, it was a bold move out of Conor McGregor, but that instantly changed the whole complexion of that fight because Conor McGregor tried to go for the highlight reel. He was training all camp, and you saw him training that knee because he knows Khabib telegraphs his shot when he's on his back foot. And I feel like Gaethje's going to put him there all the time. Then you got to realize, even though I'm not saying Gaethje's going to out-wrestle Khabib, what makes it interesting is that Gaethje has a scramble ability to get back to his feet, has the ability to stuff Khabib's takedown. And Khabib might say, oh, he's going to outwork him or cardio this or cardio that, but Gaethje has never shown poor cardio. He went out there doing haymakers, like big haymakers against Tony Ferguson all fight long and didn't tire out. Ferguson thought, oh, he's not going to be able to punch me like this all the fight long. He might not have said that, but that's kind of what you could see the look on his face. Like he was getting tagged by all these big shots, but he was hoping that if the fight went on, especially it was a short notice fight. I don't think it was even a full notice fight. He came in on short notice for the guy probably with the best cardio in the division and Tony Ferguson, and had haymakers for him all night long. So it was kind of expected, oh, Gaethje going to slow down a bit. Like he's tagging him right now, but eventually Ferguson's good chin and cardio and stuff will allow him to wear Gaethje down with his pace, with his conditioning, with his strength, with his durability, and then Gaethje will get tired after doing all these haymakers, and he'll start to pick him apart later on. But that was not the case. Gaethje had haymakers for him all night long, and eventually, the ref stopped the fight. Ferguson probably could have went on a little bit longer, but the fight wasn't looking any better for him. He was just getting bust up, getting his ears, knocked around, getting his jaw knocked around, so it wasn't looking any better for him. The fight was only getting worse as the rounds went on, so it's not like Gaethje came in on short notice against the man with the best card in the fight and afforded a high-paced fight with heavy-handed strikes, not just on these little jabs and little feints and stuff and little touchy strikes. He was going to knock his head off with every single strike and still look fresh, even with in the fourth round. If the fight would have went on, he would have been able to be just as fresh in the fifth round. So Khabib might say, oh, that might be a path, but I never seen Gaethje have bad cardio. Gaethje always had good cardio. It's not like, oh, he's a Kobe Covington, Kamaru Usman, or Ferguson, or Clay Guida. He's not those type of people in cardio, but his cardio is far better than average. So his cardio is definitely not in question. So I think he could definitely push the pace as long as the fight needs to go on. And that's really what he needs to do. And I think pushing the pace and pushing Khabib back will make it interesting for him. So, we'll put Khabib in areas where he's weaker at, and which will give him better opportunities to win this fight and put it where he wants to put it. So as far as Gaethje's path to victory, I think is to lead the dance, not allow Khabib to pressure, be there with the counter, and be himself really. Like when Khabib goes for takedowns, be able to scramble, get back to his feet, really be able to get back to his feet, be able to scramble, push Khabib on the back foot, and keep Khabib working. Don't be out there just like, oh, letting Khabib get takedowns, or let Khabib hold you against the cage or hold you on the ground, defend the takedown, get back to your feet. Don't let him take you down and secure the takedown. If he gets a takedown, roll with it, scramble, get back to your feet. And Gaethje can very much do that. Counter him when he makes big mistakes, land hard shots, make him feel that you're there. So what it's going to come down to, and definitely mixing the leg kicks. Don't be so afraid of the takedown. Like when you're going against anybody, you can't be out there just afraid to fight your fight. And there's been plenty of guys like Khabib. I'm not saying there's been plenty of Khabib, but there's been plenty of guys where these guys were such dominant wrestlers. And they eventually lost to guys that with a striking, whether a full, well-rounded game or a striking focused game, and they went out there and lost them. Like there was that's it, man. I said Mark Coleman. He lost a striker twice or three times. So Mark Coleman lost a striker three times, at least three times. There's Matt Hughes, he lost to BJ Penn, but he also lost, say, Thiago Alves later on in his career because he was able to stuff the takedown. He was able to fire his kicks. When you're so worried about what somebody's going to do to you, you shell up and allow them to do that to you anyway. So you can't be out there I'm not going to throw a kick. Kicks can very much shut down wrestlers, will sprawl, stop their takedown, hit them up top, make them worry about top, making them shell up, then go down low. So mix it up high and low. Definitely throw those kicks in there, which is going to take away Khabib's ability to wrestle a bit, Khabib's mobility, Khabib's ability, I'm almost messing the name up, but Khabib's ability to generate force, his movement, and all that stuff is going to come to his full game. So don't be worried or be afraid to do your own stuff. Just got to set it up right. Don't just be out there just running at him and throw an ugly kick. Set it up high, then mix it in low. Set it up high or set it up low, then mix it in mid. Attack his body, attack his leg, attack his head. Just attack him. Push him back. Maybe throw some feints in there so he reacts and tries to shoot a shot from even farther out. But just the simple fact that you're going to be pressuring him and putting him on his back foot is going to make him less dangerous, less successful at what he's trying to do. And keep tagging him. Keep making him dink. Don't just allow him to go out there and get an easy takedown and then be on the top of you for 3 minutes, not even have to worry about anything, and making you work. Make him work, make him dink, put him on the back foot, tag him, attack him high, attack him low, and make him have to react, where in fights he usually is the one fully dictating the pace of the fight from start to finish, and put him in areas where he's not. So I'm not saying go out there and wrestle him. I'm saying the fact that he can scramble, get back to his feet, the fact he's been in there with solid, real deal, world-class wrestlers. Use that experience, train that, come in there conditioned like he always is, and like I said, push Khabib on the back foot, make him pay for being sloppy at times, tag him, put him on the back foot, defend the takedown, scramble, get back to your feet, and rinse and repeat, basically. And don't be afraid to, don't try to, keep any of your tools away just because you're worried about his wrestling. Don't be so worried about his wrestling that you don't fight your own fight. So pretty much for Gaethje, the whole thing is to fight your own fight. For Khabib on the other side, I think what Khabib has to do is he has to gain Gaethje's respect in the fight. If he can show that, I'm not just a wrestler in this fight, then that really makes it a different fight for Khabib. Khabib has an underrated jab. He can stick that jab on Gaethje a little bit. That can definitely maybe swell up Gaethje's eyes. And he can stick him with the jab. He could use that jab as like a setup for his takedown. That's open to takedown. So pretty much it comes with, you got to gain, unlike the other fights where he just got the lead and had the respect. In this fight, he has to gain that respect on the feet first. So tag him with a jab, push him back. Like, you got to land some strikes to push him back, not just walking forward and instantly your opponent just automatically backing up because they're so scared of you, so intimidated by your wrestling, so intimidated by your pressure. But this time you really got to gain, stick him with the jab, maybe throw in an overhand in there, maybe kick his leg, and work. Like I said, really comes down to gaining his respect in his feet, which is going to push him back and which will allow opportunities for you to set up takedowns. Or maybe you stick him with the jab and it makes him frustrated, make him overextend, or make him load up, which opens up takedowns. So for Khabib, it all comes down to earning his respect on the feet. And when you earn respect on the feet, you'll get him to either overextend on shots or you'll get him to back up. And those will open up grappling opportunities. So a very tough matchup for Khabib. I think it's a very interesting matchup. And I think this is a guy who, out of all of Khabib's opponents, this is his biggest threat. This is not no easy fight. This is not no, a cakewalk. This is not, rinse and repeat. I don't know, I'm going to predict this fight, but no matter how this fight goes, I don't see this fight for sure. I don't think this is an easy fight for Khabib. I think this is his hardest fight. No matter what happens in this fight, whether Khabib wins or Khabib loses, this is Khabib's hardest fight. This is what I see in this fight. This is going to be Khabib's hardest fight. But now to the actual prediction, what I see happening is, I think it's going to be like a shocker for Khabib. I think Khabib's going to come out there. He's training hard because he knows just what Gaethje brings, and he's going to come out there and try to, Khabib's whole thing to this fight was, he's not saying he's not changing anything. He's not trying to do anything different. He's going to come out there and train as hard as he can, and he's going to do what he always does. And I believe that's fully what he's going to go out there. He's going to train hard as he can, maybe harder than he ever trained, but he's going to come out there looking to do what he does in every single fight. So expecting the same Khabib, but a better version of the same exact Khabib. When I expect Gaethje, the same Gaethje, but a better version of the same Gaethje. So what I see in this fight, I think Gaethje's going to be able to respond well to Khabib's grappling. I think Gaethje's going to push Khabib back. I think he's going to be able to tag Khabib up. And I think Khabib's not going to like it. Khabib's not going to be frustrated. Khabib is going to be the one who's going to get tired. Because when you're so used to things going your way, and you're so used to having a cardio because you're already planned to fight a certain way, you're so used to things going your way in fights, then you start to get tired in there because you're thinking more than you're used to thinking. So he's going to be getting tagged. He's going to be getting countered. He could go with that right hand. He could with that left hook. He's going to be cool with counters. And then he'll get kicked to his leg. But I'm not saying Khabib's going to go out to get washed. He's definitely going to have his own success. I think he'll have success with his jab. I think he'll have success with his own kick. I think he'll try to shoot for the takedown. But Gaethje's going to be able to respond to whether stuffing it or scramble, whether rolling out of the takedown and get back to his feet. And that's going to irritate Khabib. Like I said, I see it's a competitive fight. Definitely not a wash for either man. But I think the pace of this fight is going to favor Gaethje. It's going to be a lot more striking than Khabib's used to. He's going to take a lot more damage than he used to. That's going to wear on him. I think he will get maybe one or two takedowns, but I think everything he does, it's not going to be where he can just lay and rest on that takedown. It's going to be, he's going to have to work with that takedown. He's going to have to deal with that takedown. He's going to deal with trying to get the takedown, how to secure the takedown, Gaethje getting back, scramble back to his feet. Hard to take Gaethje down, hard to hold him down. Khabib is probably the best grappler overall in MMA right now, but Gaethje is prepared for it, in my opinion. And I see him being prepared for it. Like I said, I feel like the pace is going to more so favor Gaethje, where Khabib's not going to be able to just work. He's going to have to battle. He's going to have to really be in a battle. Not just take one big shot of fight or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. He's going to have to take 10, 20, 30 plus big strikes from Gaethje and have to battle through it. And he's going to be used to that level of adversity, even though he trains for that. Training and bending those fights are two different things. And I think that's going to be the big difference. Gaethje's been in these battles and Khabib really has not in the actual cage. I think over time, that's going to wear on him. When he gets sprawled, getting hit with hammer fists and punches, when he's missing these takedowns, when he's getting digged to the body, getting digged to the leg, when he's overextending, when he's getting frustrated, getting countered. I think over time, he starts to slow down as the fight goes on, be limping a little bit, weathered. Then Gaethje picks up the pace, cracks him, and puts him away early on in that 4th round. So my prediction for this fight is Justin Gaethje via 4th round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje. And as always, thanks for watching.